Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the LCN number 1260-3049 in aluminum finish. This is a typical friction style hold open arm that you would have for the 1260 series closer. This can be used in either a regular arm mount or a parallel arm mount if you have the parallel arm bracket, obviously, for the hold open bracket, or a hold open assembly that's here, meaning the shoe. So this is what's called a friction style hold open, and it is basically governed by the position of this nut that's here in relative to how loose or tight it is will govern the degree of hold open. So if you back that nut open a little bit, you'll be able to swing and hold that door at a greater degree of hold open rather than tightening it down and have it lock in place. Now, arms like this are expressly prohibited from use on fire-rated doors because they do not provide the operation of the fire door under which it's mandated to not only be self-latching, but it needs to be free-swinging and self-closing by all means of activation. So this door that will be held open has no way to close in the event of fire, is the bottom line. So this arm would not be used for that. And in fact, I have, over the last several years, arms like this have been, expressly stated in code that they are not permissible at all. In addition to it simply violating the tenets of a fire door, it's stated in code not to use a friction-style manual hold open. So that's what this is for. This is a 1260 arm, a 3049. This is also the standard version. They do make a version that will be longer, and you would use a longer, an L version if you needed a longer length, if your reveal was greater than average. And the reveal is the dimension from in a top jam mount, top jam only, where the body is mounted to the header and the arm is mounted to the face of the door. On the push side, if that reveal which is defined from the face of the header to the face of the door, if that reveal dimension is greater than a certain, distance, you have to have a longer arm. This is just the standard 3049 arm that we have here. We'll take a couple of basic dimensional properties. This appears to be set to its maximum length based on where the forearm is engaging in the telescoping sliding two portions of the forearm. From the spindle on the closer to the elbow is called the main arm. That's called the forearm. Okay, closer to the door. We'll measure both portions of this just for the sake of taking it. The main arm is about 11.5. And the forearm's about 14 inch or so. Okay, probably a good question would be center to center of the holes appear to be about 1 7/8. Let me verify that. Yeah, I'd say about 1 7/8 center to center of these two holes, connecting it to the spindle coming off the door closer body. Very typical and common sort of preparation that you see in that unit. Let's switch to the screen view where we can take a look at some supporting documentation. Okay, so this is the item that we are looking at. Not much to see here necessarily, but there are links below this video. The first one is to the product brochure, and it's an overview of the 1260 series. Cast iron closer, designed to fit most common commercial footprints. 1260 is adjustable from sizes 1 through 5. The 1260 also features a complete line of regular and extra duty arms. LCN's peel and stick installation templates, a convenient spring adjust pointer, and an optional quick fix bracket kit. are all features of the entire 1260. And an overview of that is here. That shows a regular arm. That shows a top jam mount. Oh, and by the way, there's the reveal that I was attempting to describe earlier. Reveal is defined from the face of the frame to the face of the door. Let's just say that this is aluminum storefront, which it certainly appears to be. That's probably a very small dimension. You know, that jam may be 4.5 inch deep. Well, what if you had 8 3/4 hollow metal? Now you've got a large reveal that the standard arm is probably not going to work with. In fact, it's detailed right here. So, in your top jam mount, your maximum reveal is listed based on the degree of opening. Okay. So depending on your degree of opening, if you exceed that dimension, you'll need to go to the long arm. There have been times that I've even had a reveal so deep that even the longest arm would not work. And I am familiar with some of our clients who are rather crafty and ingenious, innovative, and they've made their own longer arms. Of course, the closer's not really designed to handle the additional forces that would create. But nonetheless, you see very creative solutions. Parallel arm, and provided that you have the bracket, you'll be able to mount your hold open. This, they're still on the aluminum storefront. They're showing the 5th hole spacer here because your soffit dimension is too small to accommodate all 5 holes of the parallel arm bracket. That's called the 5th hole spacer or block. A variation on the parallel arm bracket where they have a offset version of that happening on their EDA arm. Their cush arm, that's here as well. I don't think they'll show us the friction. Cast iron body, other accessories. And here's our 1260 3049 hold open. Non-handed, mounts hinge, top jam, or PA, but you'll need the 62 PA, which may or may not come with the closer that you're ordering. You may already have one and you may have just damaged the arm, but you'll need that to install it in a parallel arm fashion. And here's the long version. Should your reveal and your degree of opening conspire to require that, you'll put an L at the end. Other arms are available here. They're EDA arms, hold open versions, dead stop with a hold open as well. And then the how to order. LCN is famous for how simple and straightforward their part numbers are. So it's a handy item. Next link will be the installation instructions for the standard sort of regular arm mount. And there will be a reference somewhere in here to the hold open function. I'm quite sure that there must be. I hope that there is. It's usually just one little, there we go, one little, whatever they call it in comic books, a panel maybe, just one little section. And here it is. To adjust hold open arm, loosen hold open nut, open door 5 degree less than desired, hold position and tighten that securely. You're going to want to be sure that you have a very large crescent wrench because there's not a lot of profile of that nut to get it adjusted. You know, and here's the panel on how to attach it. And when they said earlier that it's non-handed, and that's because you can turn the arm over as seen. So if you have a, well, this would be a left hand, pardon me, what are they showing us here? Well, they appear to be showing us a right hand reverse door with a top jam mount is what they appear to be showing us. Yeah, that's certainly what they're showing us here. Okay. Oh, okay. So I slid to page 2. Forgive me. Pull side is here, page 1. Let's start over. We went from regular arm mount to looking at top jam, and I was still thinking regular arm. So here's your right hand door, and here's your left hand door, and you'll just see how the installation aspect of that will change depending on the hand. So it's just simple and straightforward. As we got to page 2, that's where we were looking at the top jam mount. I apologize. At least I was confused. I hope you weren't confused. Okay, now there's also installation instructions to a PA mount as well. And there's your hold open option orientation right there. Back in the old days, maybe the 90s, the old days, they used to include a box wrench for getting around and over that nut. They don't, but if you come across one, you're going to want to keep those, especially if you work on closers. I've had customers come in with a hold open arm and need help getting it working again. So let's switch back to the camera view and talk about that. But first, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the LCN products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the current product catalog. Encyclopedic documents are here. Very handy, very helpful resources here. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Now, in conclusion, I've had customers come in with a hold open arm that is so tightly set, so near impossibly cranked over, where someone has taken that door and so forcefully pushed it beyond the point of hold open that it's become seized. And I have literally had to put arms like this into a bench vise with a mallet, very long pipes, bars, wrenches to be able to get those unseized. And there was actually one that I could not get it taken apart for the client. So be mindful. Don't overset that, or you can render damage to the arm. I would discourage you from considering a hold open arm, period. If no other means of holding the door open are possible, then sure, by all means, as a last resort. The problem is, as you take that large door that can give you a lot of leverage and you move that out to your hold open point and you set that tension there, you're stressing your installation points right down to the threads on the screws that hold that arm to the door or frame. So I would encourage you to not consider that. I think long term it's not a great idea if other means of holding the door are available to you. If it's an on-rated door, perhaps a kick-down doorstop may be preferable to a hold open arm. They do require adjustment time to time as well. You will find that over enough time, a hold open arm that used to hold open at 95 degrees now goes to 100 degrees, etc. So you will have to set that, because the movement of hold open, non-hold open, hold open, non-open does cause that friction, that nut, and there is a friction washer underneath there that helps keep it in place. Will just simply require maintenance. So be mindful. It's not super common these days to sell hold open arms, but back in the old days, you wanted a hold open closer, it was a friction style arm. You know, at least in general or in common for us. Or if someone walked in for a hold open closer, that's what they were expecting to get, a friction style arm. The other non-friction style, like the spring-loaded ball with the T-handle, that are heavy-duty arms for parallel arm mounts, those are way better options because you have that spring-loaded ball and you can reach up and grab that T-handle and turn it and remove that. The problem with those is those arms are noticeably more expensive than a friction style. Okay. Now, LCN themselves, they are under the Allegiant umbrella, along with her sister companies Schlage, Von Duprin, LCN, Glenn Johnson, Ives, Zero, Falcon, Doramatic, etc. Best-in-class caliber of technical support with those folks over there. Door closers, to many of us, are difficult to comprehend, and for many of us also, they're a challenge to fully understand through the period of an entire career, and they provide exceptional technical support, and to them I say thank you. If you have any questions on the LCN 1260-3049 hold open friction style arm in aluminum finish, and obviously you can order that in all the finishes that LCN will make their closers available in. Certainly their sprayed finishes, light bronze, dark bronze, aluminum, black, brass. I doubt they're going to plate this closer arm, so I don't think that's going to happen. Prime coat can be done as well. Any questions on this or any other LCN product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.